My name is Jill Kennedy, and on Friday, actually, it'll be 14 years that I've been with Navitor, and I've spent the bulk of those years working with the sales and marketing teams, focusing on materials and strategies that help our distributors with their sales efforts. So I'm really excited to be here with you and with our panelists. But before I introduce our guests, I want to remind you that the session is being recorded, and although you've been muted, we definitely want to hear from you. So that's what this session's all about, after all. So please use the chat and the Q&A functions on your Zoom toolbar to pose those questions and give us feedback as we go. We'll spend about another 15 minutes or so after the presentation to answer those questions that we aren't able to get to in this first half hour. So we'll be emailing you that link to the presentation that's fully recorded later today, and it will also be housed on navitor.com. So if you'd like to access it later on, you can certainly do that. So today now, I would love to introduce our panelists. They are two of our valued distributors who are really being so generous with their time and expertise today. And their varied experiences, strategies, and approaches to doing business make for a really great discussion. So we're really happy they agreed to join us. First, we have Josh Petrakis with Wrigley's Business Products and Services in Pennsylvania. Hi, Josh. Thanks for being here. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Jill, and the whole Navitor team for inviting me to participate in this. Wrigley's Business Products and Services, we've been around since 1991. I started there a little over 5 years ago, mainly selling, prospecting, you name it. Slowly moved into a project coordination role. So now I lead the divisions of printing and promotional products along with furniture sales. So we have 5 sales reps. So any of those projects that come in for any of those categories, I gather all the information, logistics, and make sure all the projects to come to fruition and our customers are happy.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Josh. So we're also lucky to have Angela Marion with us. She's with the branding agency Powered by Performa and is based in Florida, if you couldn't tell from our discussion earlier. But Angela, if you could just share a bit about yourself then as well, that'd be great.
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate it. And I've been in the industry for approximately 6 years. I was a former school teacher, and I wasn't feeling it anymore. And my father at the time was a pro forma owner and said, why don't you come work for me? And I think you'd be great at it. And I said, oh gosh, you sell print? That sounds boring. So I turned him down for a while. And then I finally said, hey, I'm ready. Let's see what it's all about. And he's like, you're going to love it. It's not just print, it's promotional products, it's apparel. And I jumped in and hit the ground running, and I've been here ever since. And last year we were acquired by another pro forma called the branding agency. So I'm now officially a sales rep for them, and I'm just loving what I'm doing.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks, Angela. Got a little feedback there. Okay, so we did do a quick poll, so I don't know how many of you got a chance to see this. We did a poll about our guest today, 3 truths and a lie, and let's see what you all think. So some of you think that Angela was really not part of a musical duo called Blonderage, but actually it is that they are not paid actors. Josh does have 2 head ducks, which we were fortunate enough to meet the other day, and Angela is part of the duo, and we'll get to the rest later. So thanks so much, Angela, for joining us, and Josh. So we'll go ahead and get started here with our agenda. So today, what we're planning on covering is we'll be discussing, the topics and questions that have come up time and again from our distributors that we've been hearing about prospecting tactics, about gaining new customers, how to get started selling print. This is something that comes up all the time. When we've done our workshops and so on. Is it really profitable? Is it worth the time? So we'll talk about ideas on how to not just survive, but to thrive through this recovery. And yes, Navitor has some great ideas, and tools for you to use to help solve those problems and answer those questions. But, why take our word for it when you can hear from some of our distributors who are doing it every day? So Josh and Angela have taken some unexpected as well as some really out of the box approaches to their sales efforts. And I really think you're going to find them very interesting. So we'll talk about, just get started here. We'll get started with surviving. You know, we couldn't have a discussion without talking about this last year. You know, there's no way. So first, I want to congratulate both Angela and Josh. They each had their best sales year ever last year, which is a huge accomplishment during this past year. So congratulations to you both.
Appreciate that.
Sure. You both took very different approaches to sales. So Josh, your story, I think, is one that is a little bit more familiar to a lot of distributors. You kind of initially turned to PPE. Can you tell us a little bit more how you approached things?
Yeah, sure. You know, obviously when the pandemic hit, you know, we knew that normal business wasn't going to, you know, take on as much as it did, you know, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks prior. So right away, you know, the leadership really kind of pressed us to, you know, come up with different ways to, you know, sell. And we saw the trends, you know, the nitrile gloves and the masks and all that kind of stuff. So as I was, you know, sourcing a lot of the promotional products and the different print vendors that we used, you know, the thought was to kind of utilize that for me to kind of seek out a lot of the PPE products that we were going to be selling. And it was a daily struggle, you know, to find those products. But in that we were able to, you know, get our customers exactly what they needed when they needed it. And also it led to customers that we never had before, you know, in addition to a customer retention tool. I hate to use the pandemic in those terms, you know, but you know, we highly value what our customers need and are able to get them. So, you know, when the businesses were shutting down and, you know, maybe they didn't need their checks or their, you know, sales flyers, but they needed to stay safe in the office or at home, we were able to provide all of those products for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said, you know, it kind of started to shift then. I think you'd mentioned kind of in the middle of the year, June or so. Were you able then to start kind of adding print in? I mean, adding other products in, kind of adding things?
Sure, yeah, and it also led to you know, a bunch of warm leads. You know, the customers that we were selling the PPE products to, you know, we would insert, hey, you know, at some point you're going to be coming back. You know, where is your print going to be? Can we offer you solutions for what you're going to need? And yeah, it was kind of a breakthrough. You know, promotional products for us, you know, really started to come back 3 months, about three to 4 months into the pandemic, where the kitting projects, you know, were a big thing for us. You know, all of the companies wanted to thank their employees for their service to the company, trying to get through the pandemic. I mean, we were kitting boxes of, you know, thank you materials for customers and employees, and shipping them nationwide. I think the kind of the secret to our success was thinking outside the box, finding what our customers needed, and, you know, servicing them well.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and Angela, I know you kind of took a really different approach with what you did. It wasn't the PPE. So, you know, explain a little bit about how you got those great sales last year.
Sure. So when the pandemic hit, I, like everyone else, panicked, said, oh my goodness, what's going to happen here? No one's going to need anything at this point. And for the first 2 weeks, you know, it was biting my nails. And then I said to myself, okay, well, at this point in my career, if I look at my clients, I have about 50% of them at this time that are in the roofing and restoration industry. And those clients they were deemed essential workers right from the very start. So what I did was I reached out to all of them and said, hey, you know, just wanted to let you know I'm here for any of your needs. I know your crews are going to still be working. I know You may not have your sales reps out and about, but maybe it's time you want to think about, getting some new sales rep polos. So I started really focusing on the apparel and the print that these roofers might need, because my clients are based all over the country and a lot of their local shops had closed down. So I think a lot of times people may know me as the apparel girl or the print girl. They don't know us as the one source, infinite resources type of company, the one-stop shop. So I would reach out to certain clients and say, hey, I know I do your print, but will you be needing apparel as well? I don't know if your local apparel shop closed down. And they would say, as a matter of fact, it did. We do need polos, we need shirts, we need hats for our crews. And the orders just started coming in. And that's what I went for like, I would say the first 4 to 5 months. And I really think that is the major reason why I was able to do so well, just focusing on those essential workers. And this time last year, I would say I had about 50% of my clients in that industry. Right now, I can honestly say it's about 85%.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that kind of moves us into that whole prospecting idea. I mean, a lot of what you did there was that, going out and finding them. 70%, and this may be surprising to you guys, but 70% of our distributors rated themselves poorly when asked if they felt confident in their prospecting efforts. So there's some, people aren't really sure, what to do or how to go about it. So, like Angela, with that, I mean, what are the tactics you use to find those new customers?
I, a few years ago, went to a convention for people in this industry. I went just to see it and do some networking there. Met a lot of people. And then by the next year, I said, you know what, I'm going to be a vendor here at this storm. It's called Win the Storm. And there are public adjusters and roofers and manufacturers of products, and everybody's there and everybody knows each other. So I figured if I got a booth there, I could start really networking, meeting people, prospecting. So I would gather the cards and everything. And then if I got busy, the cards would just sit off to the side. But when something like this happened, I would say, okay, let me pull those out. And then I would, I don't do too many email blasts because I know I hate getting them myself, but I try to be really strategic about the products that I'm going to offer these people. And I'll send out a blast maybe once every other week. But I communicate a lot with that specific industry via text. And I know that there are pros and cons to doing that, but these guys are always out in the field. They're never sitting in front of a desk. Most of the people who own the roofing companies are out doing the work. So sometimes I'm left with no choice, but so maybe one week I'll do like a little bit of an email blast. Maybe another week I'll shoot out an email. A text to say, hey, remember me? How are you guys looking on your shirts? How are you looking on your door hangers? But the other thing that I do is I am not shy about asking my clients to refer me to other people. It's just something that I feel if a person will refer me to someone who they know and they already have a relationship with, they know they're not going to refer somebody who's not going to do a great job for them. So I'll ask them to either loop me in with the person or shoot them a text on my behalf, or, whatever, maybe set up a call. And that has resulted in a lot of new clients for me along the way.
Yeah, I know you mentioned too that you also ask for reviews, right? For your social. I mean, that's kind of how you use social a little bit, right? Where you ask them to put reviews or post pictures.
Yes, if I know that there's a product that's pretty unique, I'll say, hey, can you just snap a picture? I work with a ballet company, and I said, I think it would be great if you got your dancers all in the apparel we did for them. They went outside, they did a little photo shoot, they posted and tagged me, and then I take it and share it on my business page. So sometimes people are afraid of that because they think, oh, well, someone is going to see that they do apparel and go in and steal the client. And for me, I feel trusting and I feel loyalty from my clients.
Mhm.
And I don't feel that if someone, I already feel like I'm offering them a really good price, but
Yeah.
I don't have that fear that someone's going to try to come in but sometimes you have to take a risk, and it can happen. It might happen, but it's worked for me. People love seeing my clients wearing or using or displaying the items that I did for them. And then it may pop an idea into their head. Hey, I never thought of that. Maybe we should do that item.
Angela, I think you would agree too. I think it's the level of service that you provide too. As long as your level of services is there, I mean, obviously you want to be fair to your customers with the price that you're
Yes.
that you're selling at, but at the same time, if you're the one to get your customers the product the easiest way, the quickest way, you don't have that fear as much.
Yeah, and that's where the loyalty comes from.
Mhm.
I know that they're loyal to me because of the level of service that I provide. So it's all of those tactics. Some people are so afraid to ask for referrals, but I just say go for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that referral, I mean, are you doing, Josh, I know you said you're actually back in front of folks, right? I mean, you have been all along because you've been doing deliveries and so on. Has it been hard to, to kind of do that in person again? Or if you can't be in person, how are you prospecting for those customers? Is it mostly just phone calls and like the text, or Josh, how have you handled it?
Yeah, so it's a little I can speak somewhat on behalf of the sales reps that we have, because obviously I'm the project coordinator, but I hear a lot of stories of how our sales reps are getting in. And I think when the pandemic hit, obviously it was shut down. The offices were closed and yada yada. But as people are opening up, I'd say our sales reps have been walking into buildings with permission first for the last 3 to 4 months, if not longer. Wherever the comfort level is, I think it's still super important to ask for the permission, the comfort level, where can I walk in the building, all that kind of stuff. But like you alluded to, our how the company started back in 91, was just office supplies. And I'm very proud to say that throughout the pandemic, we never stopped servicing our customers. We did it with safety in mind, sanitizing, the vehicles, wearing the masks, the protective gear, all that kind of stuff. So I would say now, our sales reps, majority of the time, whoever is fully vaccinated, asking that question, as silly as it sounds, are you vaccinated? Are you comfortable? So a lot of the in-person meetings are maskless, now as we open back up to the quote unquote new norm. So,
yeah. One other thing I want to throw out there too, I mean, as far as prospecting goes, I know, Josh, have used some of Navitor's materials, marketing materials, right, on your website and so on, to kind of gain interest. And
yeah, I mean, it's, Navitor does make it super simple. They've got, so many marketing materials up there. I know that our creative director internally uses the Zoom catalog. That's up on our, we have quote unquote two different websites, an entry site, then our ordering platform. And the Zoom catalog is on both of the platforms. And it's super simple for someone to click and page through to see what we offer. It's been super simple, along with the sales flyers and the vertical flyers, and you name it. You can pretty much take something and email it out to a bunch of prospects and say, hey, this is what we offer. What can we provide for you? Really make it super simple. And I know one of and I do see the question up there, do you do all of your expansion with phone and email? I know I can speak specifically to the pandemic. When it came to the PPE, we were doing while supplies lasts emails, which were sometimes frustrating, because you would oversell something, but at the same time, you open it up for an opportunity to be able to find, different products. So I think email blasts targeted email blasts are super important.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
So let's look into move on into like growing business and let's focus on print a little bit here as well. So we hear a lot that print isn't worth the hassle. It's not profitable. Now, Angela, I love this, but I know you have a kind of a strong opinion about print. So tell us what it is and how you get by it.
Oh, you mean that I hate print? That's yeah. Print terrified me. Right now, it doesn't terrify me anymore. It's not my favorite because there are so many different components. The paper stock, the finishing, the sizes. I mean, when I think about if someone wants a polo, I have to pick out their shirt and figure out where their logo is going to go. If somebody wants a promotional product, we figure out the product, we figure out where their logo is going to go. When it's print, it's so much more. And it's very, very intimidating to me. And I was, for the first couple of years I was in this business, I would go to my father, who was my boss at the time, and say, can you help me out here? I hadn't really developed too many relationships like I have now with Navitor, where I have dedicated people who will help me. And in fact, my dedicated rep now, Justin, I say to him all the time, I'm like, I'm getting better, but I still need some help. Can you help me with this? And they're always so wonderful, and they'll walk me through it. Just because everything's so different. Everybody's needs are so different. The graphics, the page numbers, the stock, the finishing, everything. So I can't really say that I hate print right now, but and one of the main reasons is because I sell so much of it. If I were to look at a graph, I mean, my print sales are probably about 75% of what I do. So how could I hate that? It's just
and being that you had such a great year last year, I'm guessing there were some profits there, right?
Oh, absolutely. And especially in the industry I'm working with, they need door hangers, they need yard signs, business cards, flyers, contracts, folders. And that's everything that you guys do for us. And I think right now we have about 4 or 5 company stores set up with Navitor to do those, which has been amazing. I know we'll probably talk about that a little bit more later, but I pretty much say yes to everything. I act like I'm a professional and I know what I'm talking about. Oh, yes, we can do this, that, the other thing. Hang up the phone or click off the email and call Justin and say, Justin, I've got this amazing project. Can you walk me through it? And I'm getting better little by little. The more I do it, the more comfortable I feel. So in the beginning, when I started with print, I would just say yes and then maybe want to cry because I didn't know anything on how to put this beautiful promotional piece together for their brochures. But now I've done it a few times. I've done it enough that I know. And when I start doing the same products over and over again, I know what folders, what is the standard. I know what the door hanger sizes are and what finishes people typically get. So the more I do it, the better I get. So I just say to everybody, again, like it's a go for it thing. Like if you have someone who wants something print and you're not so familiar, just say, yeah, we can do this for you, and start learning about it and use your dedicated sales reps, especially ones from Navitor, because they're amazing. They'll hold my hand the whole way through. They will. They'll jump on calls with me. It's been amazing.
I'll just be right on top of that. I mean, it's print is a lot of the times not easy, but if you're able to, lean on, people at a company such as Navitor, it really, really does make it simple. They can walk you through just about anything. If you've never sold a business card before, pick up the phone, talk to somebody, they'll tell you exactly what the parameters are. The templates are right there on the ordering portal. You can pull them off, send them to your customer, or you can use it internally. It is super simple.
Yeah. Josh, you use Navitor.com quite a bit, right?
Maybe a dozen times a day.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, you find it useful. There was a question too about buyer's artwork, how to get the artwork, and how you can always get that and get quality artwork. Do you ever have a hard time with that?
You used to be a hard time for me, but again, I would say my words of wisdom here are, as long as you're very clear in your direction, you can pretty much pass an order over to Navitor. They can build it for you, with or without good artwork. There are the vectorization services and all that kind of good stuff that they have available, to be able to get something to your customer proof wise, to be able to have them approve something. So I can't tell you how many times we get bad artwork, but it's having the tools and the people you can lean on to get the job done for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of actually segues pretty nicely into just overcoming obstacles. When we, like artwork, how do you get past these types of things? Maybe if you have bad artwork, how do you compete like with some of these internet companies that, some of our, we won't say names or anything, right? But how do you guys compete with that, with your customers? If they say, oh, we could just go to, XYZ and order that.
Service.
Yeah.
I can't emphasize that enough. As long as you have all the answers or can get the answers, again, we're not, gouging anybody on prices, but you're not going to pay as little as you are. But I think you said it, Angela. I'll let you talk after this. Sorry, but you're gonna get X quality with X company and Y quality with Y company. And, if you can make that justification upfront or give some examples, it's no question that they're going to come back to you time and time again.
Yeah. Yeah. And print is messy, right? I mean, we know that things can happen in print. So when things go wrong, and sometimes they will, right? So how do you handle that, and how do you deal with that with a customer and overcome that type of obstacle? Angela, do you want to maybe?
Sure.
I know, Josh, you've got some good things too.
Well, when I have a problem with a vendor or a customer, and I write to them and they respond back with a very canned, I'm so sorry for the the project didn't go exactly as planned. We'll research this and get back to you. To me, that feels sort of dismissive. I don't feel like people are empathizing with me. So what I try to do is, when my client writes to me and says, oh my gosh, we got this and this is off or that's off, or we got too many, we got too few. I'm going to give you an example. I had, I think it was 5,000 hand sanitizers that were shipped for a very big client of mine. Half of them exploded all over the boxes. Everything was ruined. They weren't packaged properly. And instead of just giving a very, oh, that's so terrible, let me look into this, I do oh my gosh, I can't believe that this happened. I really, really try to empathize with my clients and feel their pain, because a lot of times that's what people want. They want you to feel and experience what they're feeling. They want to know that it's just as important to you as it is to them. And I do that every time, even if it's the smallest mistake. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. I don't start pointing fingers. I don't place blame. I will get on this right away and research what will happen. And you can be assured we will make this right. Yeah. And then we just make it right, however we have to make it right.
Yeah, Josh, I know you had mentioned something about saying that sometimes a mistake isn't a bad thing because it allows you to be a hero, which I thought was a really interesting take on everything.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get the customers, and I'd say it's the few select customers that do think that you're not human and you're not supposed to make a mistake. But I think majority of the times, Angela, great point. Be empathetic, but and I can't say that it's my own mantra, but you know, a mistake every once in a while, because it's going to happen, presents opportunities for you to come in and look like the hero to make a really bad situation good. And people respect that. They cling to that. They will thank you time and time again. Hey, I know what you probably went through, you know, to get this done for me, and I really appreciate you going the extra mile for me. So it can turn out to be a really good thing.
Can I piggyback off that?
Yeah.
When I'm getting a new client and I'm talking to them, I always ask them, what is it that you didn't like about your the last company you used? And a lot of them use multiple people. They'll get their yard signs in one place, they'll get their apparel somewhere else, their promo somewhere else. And I try to offer that solution that like we're a one-stop shop. So I'll talk to them about what some of their pain points were. And then I'll tell them, look, it's not an exact science. Things will go wrong in this business. And, you know, it might be my first order with you. It might be my 10th order with you. Something at some point is going to go wrong. It just happens. It's the way it's how our industry works. But you can be assured that I will do whatever I need to do to make it right so that you're happy. So I kind of give them that, and because this business does, you're like, how many of us can honestly say that every single order has gone smoothly?
Right. I know. Boy, we're already at our half an hour. So I want to thank people for coming. But if you have to leave, but we are going to stay on a little bit. We're going to talk. I'm just going to continue to talk with Angela and Josh here about the future and what it looks like, what you're planning on. So Angela, if you just want to start then right away and just, you know, what are you thinking for the future? I mean, are you going to change what you've done? Are you going to continue on the same trajectory? Did you learn anything this past year that you want to, you know, that you're going to adjust in this next year?
So seeing that my clientele now, as I mentioned earlier, is about 85% in that specific industry, I have challenges in dealing with them because a lot of the people are on the road. They'll send me half of what they want in a text, half of what they want in an email, or I'll get, you know, it kind of disrupts the order flow. So I might try to, you know, scale back a little bit on this industry and look at the numbers and see, you know, which are the standout clients, which are the ones that I know are going to do a lot more. And maybe, can I sell them a company store? Can I sell them on that? Are they going to do that kind of volume that we can set this up? Because once you have a company store for someone, it goes on autopilot, which is an absolutely amazing thing that you guys, Navitor, has done for us. So I think I'm just going to take a look at my numbers, kind of follow that 80-20 rule, and then give the ones some more attention where I think I can even build further with their print in particular, because I love when it goes on autopilot. It's just, they just go on, they click their order, we get notified, we put it into our system, and it's done. We don't touch it.
Yeah, that
it's
makes
a lot of work up front, though.
Money, right?
I want to tell people that it is a lot of work up front. So at some point you may be feeling, because of all the back and forth and all the fine tuning, you may feel, hey, this doesn't seem worth it, but in the long run, it will be worth it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I know we preach that a lot. It's like, boy, if you can get a program and get that, and then you've got the stickiness of that too. Yeah. Josh, you have do some programs as well. I mean, I know you use navitor.com, but you do programs as well, right? What are you going to push that way for the rest of 2021, or what are your plans?
Big time. And it's such a good customer retention tool. You know, once you get them locked into something, it's very hard to switch. So I would say, we have a few of the stores up with Navitor currently, and we're going to push hard with that, and hopefully a fair enough of participants are still on, because I think there might be a lot of distributors out there that are in our position too. We really took off. I shouldn't say really took off, but we've always done stamps and nameplates, a fair amount of them. And to do them manually is very labor intensive. If you can get your customers to do them themselves, it saves a heck of a lot of time and it streamlines things. And you'll get the repeats a lot. So we partnered with Navitor, and Navitor has the ability to create a microsite for you that basically jumps, it appears like they're still on your same platform, just opens up a pop-up. They're able to design everything themselves, to approve everything themselves, add it to their shopping cart, and the platform that we use, they're able to add their normal everyday supplies onto it. We've got a great drop ship program. It's like a win-win-win. It's pretty crazy. So in addition to the stamps and nameplates, once we have a good system going, we're probably going to open up more and more categories so the customers can order those categories themselves. So, and I think my words of wisdom too, kind of in line to that is, I think the pandemic really taught us a lot. Don't stop reinventing yourself. Number one, it will allow you not to get stagnant. It will constantly make you want to come to work and do something different. But I think the more and more we look at, and me, I know sales reps will think just differently, but on the same lines as me, is take a look at your process, see what you're doing, see what's working, see what's not working, and constantly update and change that so that you can move forward. So I know Wrigley's is always doing that, is reinventing ourselves, looking into product categories or that we're not selling, getting into those categories, or seeing what we're already selling and not selling well enough, and changing things so we can sell them better.
Yeah. So what do you guys think is the best entry item? If you're new to print, where do you start? What's that best single item to start with?
I want to tell you where not to start. Don't start with business cards.
Don't start with business cards.
No, I would start with a flyer of some sort. Business cards are because there's a front and a back and different edges and different stock and a flyer to me, or a postcard, seems to be much more basic and easier as far as design. I mean, if somebody gives you artwork for a business card, that's a great way to start. But if you're building it and they don't have anything and they just have a concept in their mind, a business card is hard. I would say that also, if you are asked about a business card and you don't know for sure that there are other print items you can do for this client, you may want to second guess it, because business cards can take a lot of time.
So yeah, look for those multiple, see if there's additional products there. Yeah, like folders always have a good profit margin. And usually the artwork, it's pretty easy with folders and so on. And
flyers
labels as well.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and labels.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was pretty optimistic. I kind of wanted to, talk about the optimism that came out from US Bank. Had a survey that they did, and 89% of small business decision makers believe their businesses will survive. So I thought that was something good to bring up, that that optimism as we're going into it. So hopefully everybody's seeing that. I don't know if you guys were all anybody is surprised by that number. Are you all seeing, are there certain verticals that you're seeing a comeback faster? Is there maybe certain areas that you're seeing that pick up a little bit quicker?
I think we see a lot of the trades are starting to order more, and we're seeing a lot of the repeat business come back into play. I would say that the trades and financial, let's just say investment companies or banks, when they're opening up their lobbies, we haven't, the banks and the investment companies where we didn't see, business card orders, where we saw, business card orders come through, 2 to 3 times a day, was just dead. And now the repeat business is starting to come back. And that for us feels really good.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I bet. Awesome. That's great.
For me, I think healthcare is really, really good right now. And anything performance, theater, ballet, anything in the performing arts.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I noticed that Broadway was going to be starting up again and so on. So I suppose that will be concerts, events.
Yeah.
Are you all planning on doing any trade shows? I mean, what are your trade shows? Are you going to be attending any, do you think, in this year? Are you going to hold off? What are your thoughts?
Once a year, I always go to the Win the Storm conference that I told you about. This past year, I decided not to do it. I just felt it was a little too soon. I hadn't been vaccinated, so I said, I'm not going to do this one, but theirs will be in February of next year. But since there are a lot of smaller shows that they do, I would probably go not as a vendor, but maybe just as an attendee, just to see people again, because that for me makes such a difference. Just getting with people and learning about them, really building on a relationship with these people so they know and trust me as a person makes it so much easier for them to trust me as their branding partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did do a poll. I was just curious about what our attendees were planning on doing for 2021 and beyond. And we had all of those different options, and most of them said all of the above. They're going to be working on that prospecting, working on their product offering, going to add additional verticals. You both had some great ideas with some of these different verticals. Incorporate technology, those programs we were talking about, and the technology integrations and so on that you were mentioning, Josh, as well. So yeah, and getting back and talking to people will be huge, I think, for everybody. I know we're planning on attending some things yet this year. Navitor will be represented. It's in some trade shows this year yet. So we're looking forward to getting back and seeing everybody in person as well.
We actually have a local promotional products group around here that's actually doing a client-facing trade show, which was kind of surprising to me. But that's in June. So I think June 1st everyone's really looking forward to, because I think that's, especially in Pennsylvania, is where things are really going to start to get lifted. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I know our sales reps are really eager to send the emails out to see what clients they can get to go out to that trade show. So that's pretty interesting.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to do a quick plug here for Navitor and what we have available on navitor.com, just so folks are aware. We talked a lot about prospecting. We talked about different ways to do it, some great suggestions, and to let you know that you do have access on navitor.com, just by being a navitor.com member, to our outreach kit that we just produced this past year, all of our recovery flyers that are full of products that you can use when you're out prospecting, or if you want to do an email blast and so on. We also have a link to a content calendar. So that is themed by month. There may be a specific theme, maybe it's real estate or education, a theme by month, and we'll have images that you can use for social. We have content that you can pull from, blog posts that are listed and linked to. So a lot for you to use when you're doing that prospecting. And then we did just create a new page on navitor.com for our webinars. So all of our webinars and workshops, like this one right here, will be shown and listed right on that page. So just to let you all know, we will be off for the summer. We'll be off coming back in September. So if you miss us and you need to kind of catch up on some of these webinars we've done in the past, all on demand. So you can just go out to navitor.com and view those workshops. We'll take a view of the recordings and so on. So I wanted you all to know that was available. But we're at the end of our time today, guys, and boy, it went fast. I mean, there was so much. I think we wish we could have covered. We should have had an hour. You guys have been fantastic and so full of good information, and I just really want to thank you so much for joining us, Josh and Angela. It's been fun. It's been fun getting to know you, and I look forward to working with you both in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Jill, and thanks for the whole Navitor team and all the panelists too for joining in. This was a lot of fun. Learned a lot about Jill and Angela over the last.
And I would like to say thank you as well. It's been a pleasure working with you on this, but Navitor as a whole, you guys have been amazing, and thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. So we'll say goodbye then. Everybody have a great summer. And we'll see you back here for a workshop in September. All right.